So let's start traditional, as is tradition, with a review of what's new in Siebel 26.2, and we're done. It's not comparatively few things have changed with 26.2 as compared to, well, the previous releases where we had a frenzy of features and enhancements. Just think about open integration, data archival, web component framework, just in the past 2 months. And the February release gives us a little bit of a breather, if you will. It's officially bug fix only. There is not even bookshelf. Have you checked that out? I'll
Oh,
show
yeah.
you. Uh, there is the first time in I don't know how many years there's no monthly bookshelf release because there's absolutely nothing new. So says Oracle. There is, however, one new thing related to Siebel I would like to talk about. But before, let me introduce our guest who will speak after the 26.2 overview about a very interesting topic, of course, running Siebel on OpenShift. And that will, of course, get your attention. And welcome, Serkan. Nice to have you.
Yeah, nice to be here. Thank you, Alex, for hosting us.
Okay, looking forward to that. And yeah, the new thing I would like to talk about a little bit is the certification of Siebel 26 with Oracle AI Database 26 AI. So it really has it has AI in the name 2 times. So we don't forget it's all about AI. And it's certified, if you look into the Oracle Support Certification Matrix, certified with Siebel 26.1 or higher. It's not entirely clear if it's 26.1, I guess so. And that is interesting because it's the first AI database that is available on so-called non-engineered platforms. So it's a regular download for Linux. You can install it on-prem, you can run it on-prem with all the features you are just had in the engineered platforms before that on 23 AI. So you might have heard about 26 AI. And it, of course, is interesting if the Siebel customers pick up on that very interesting version of the Oracle database. It has, of course, a lot of AI-related features. It has an improved Select AI agent. That's the natural language to SQL. It has the ability to not only run LLMs inside the core of the database, but also alongside. There's a new private AI container where you can run your LLM. Think of putting that container on powerful hardware where the LLM can really outperform, and then using that LLM from within the database. And that could be any LLM of your choice. Doesn't have to go anywhere, right? Your data doesn't have to leave the building. And also there's something called the Oracle AI Database Private Agent Factory. I've just read about it and found it interesting because it's kind of a no-code drag and drop solution to build agent flows specifically for database connectivity. So that's what I guess. I'm not very well educated on that. I'm not a database guy. So yeah, however, it's exciting to have a new Oracle version certified for Siebel. If anybody has already some experience with maybe 23 AI or 26 AI, it's very fresh. Okay. No experience yet.
Hey, Alex.
Hey, hey
Can
there,
you tell
Nick.
me what non-engineered and engineered platforms are?
Okay. Yeah, non-engineered is basically regular on-prem platforms like your run-of-the-mill Linux, Oracle Linux, where you can, download the RPM or the container and run it. And engineered platforms are the likes of, for example, cloud-based databases like a autonomous database. I hope I got that right. Correct. Anybody correct me if I'm saying.
Alexander Santiago.
Yeah.
I
Hi,
have a
Santiago.
question. I have a question. So, in my lab, I'm building another Oracle VirtualBox, okay? And I tried the other day to download 23i database, but was not possible. So what you're saying is that Oracle now make database alike, call it 26AI, that I can download for my VirtualBox and install Siebel and integrate with the models, et cetera. That's what you're saying?
Yes, it's like, but it's Linux only. It's not for Windows, no, not currently. I don't know if there will be a Windows.
That's okay. I'm
install.
also building virtual boxes in Linux as well.
Yeah, so then you can see the screenshot down here where the RPM is downloaded, or you can download a container and run the database. So it's like with every other version, literally. I personally have not had the time to try it, but I will sure give it a try.
Let you know how to do.
Yeah, let us know how you do.
So a second question. So going forward, is Oracle plan to get ready of all the other OS platforms, Windows, AIX, et cetera, use Linux going forward?
Well,
for Siebel, no.
Like,
and I can't talk to any other Oracle product.
Okay, hello, Brian.
Brian, recognize that voice.
Yeah.
Good morning, Brian.
So I think what Santiago is also hinting at is that last year there was the end of support for Solaris and HP Unix, right? And
Correct.
will that continue, for example, Brian, for AIX or?
No, the issue with both of those was that the vendor, and Solaris being us, stopped supporting. There's no way we can run we can't support something where the vendor isn't supporting the underlying OS. And so that's why that happened, and that's explained in the in the announcement that we made. It had nothing to do with us just randomly deciding to consolidate onto a smaller number of platforms. So as long as AIX continues to be supported and so on, then we have no particular reason that we would do that at this stage.
Okay.
Yeah. With too many customers who are running Siebel on Windows, particularly since we just certified running it on Azure SQL,
right?
Which furthers the number of people who've made it clear they're sticking with Windows.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thanks very much for clarifying that, Brian. While you're on, Brian, is the certification is from 26.1 onwards for the 26 AI database? Do you know that?
Oh, it should be fine from 26.1 onward. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But 26 AI is weird because look at the version number. It's 23.26.1. So it's still on the 32 code line, or 23, sorry, which we already supported. So it's arguably a point release. I don't know. I'm confused by what my colleagues in the database team were thinking here.
Yeah, that versioning is really something. Yeah, 23.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
23.26. Okay.
But anyway, so but as far as I'm concerned, yeah, it should be fine anywhere from 26.1 onward. We didn't change anything,
right?
We didn't have to change anything for it.
Right. Yeah. Well, at least the sandboxes are getting a trial run there. Yeah.
Yeah, but we didn't have to change anything for it. We just said, okay, it works, great. We didn't have to modify any code or anything. So I see no reason it wouldn't work, honestly, even further back than that. But we're just not going to say we support that because we want people on later versions.
Yeah. Okay.
Alexander and Santiago, one last question.
Yes.
So the integration, and I remember you helped me that when Oracle came out with the airlines, the initial ones that we did, when we got a tenancy in OCI and connected in a lab with Duncan.
Yeah, the AI, you mean?
Still working the same. And with these databases, all you're going to have close is fields that you cannot be vector data type.
I know what you mean. So the one thing that Oracle added back in 22 and 23 is the ability to connect to OCI AI and later to generic AI platforms like OpenAI, ChatGPT, through a business service practically, or outbound REST calls that Oracle makes. So that's from the object manager sending data there, getting summaries, etc. That's still in place, of course, but if you have an AI database from Oracle, you can use AI features alongside your data. So you could vectorize the data, but you have to put in a separate effort. So as of now, to my knowledge, Siebel has no built-in support like in Siebel tools for a vector column type. But you would have to work around that. But it's doable. I did a demo 1 year ago with 23 AIs. It's definitely doable.
Please remember, you cannot put anything in your Siebel database, any type of change, if you can't do it through tools.
Right.
So, okay. So if you add a vector column somewhere, you're on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when I was taking the generative certification of AI, the Oracle one, it says this database is storage data in that type of data. That's what I wanted to bring to the table. Correct, Alexander?
Yeah, but you heard Brian, so you cannot
you don't
edit through Siebel tools, at least not yet. Brian, that's the next question.
That's a good statement.
Will that come? Can we kind of expect that to come to Siebel, the support for vector columns?
Brian, you there?
Yeah, in my opinion, at least, I feel that this is a nice enhancement if it is not possible today. Because, I think as long as the database is supporting a particular data type, let's say in this example, this vector data type, and then if that can be configured, again, means we will have to see. Means I think if it is not working, then there should be an enhancement request and our engineering will definitely take a look.
Okay, thanks.
Such an enhancement exists. As I said, it's already in our backlog. No,
so
that's it.
In a way, there is an enhancement request already and it's in backlog. Okay, thank you, Brian.
Okay, good to hear. All right. So
again means other databases means Siebel is used to be database agnostic, and now we will have to, means our engineering will have to figure it out how it's going to work for other database. So that could be.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Okay, so sorry, I don't want to kind of block the conversation, but in the interest of time and our guest speaker, I'm going forward. So going forward a little bit to siebelhub.com, because over the past few months, there was a lot of new stuff coming out. And if you want to be ready for that, we have the courses out on siebelhub.com. Let me know if you need anything to know. The latest course that we created is OpenUI Web Components, new in 26.1, very exciting feature. Maybe next Siebel Friday we have a cool demo on OpenUI Web Components. And we have put all the relevant modules for the past let's say for the past year or so, into a Siebel 26 booster pack. So that is also available on Siebel Hub. That's 18 hours of video training. It really gets you ready for Siebel 26, even if 26 is just 2 months old, but it gets you ready for the stuff that has been introduced in the past year. So you're ready when your company or your organization updates. All right. And yeah, also a reminder that recently we added the ability to have live online learning sessions with me and Richard enabled through Zoom Scheduler. So you find the link also later in the description, YouTube, where you can literally see our schedules and find a free slot where it's suitable to you, and either have a free training assessment where we find out what's the best path for you or your team, or you can just book your seat on a live training session. But we have almost all of these topics that are brand new and fresh. We have as live training sessions as well. So there's no excuse. All right. So yeah, and now let me just hand over to Serkan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, Serkan.
Thanks, Alex. Very glad that you're hosting us again. It's a pleasure to be here. So today, actually, we will try to share our experiences around running Siebel on OpenShift. 1.5 years back, we had the privilege of sharing a success story in Siebel Friday. And it was like one of the first production grade installations of Siebel on OpenShift. And this was another domain for an incumbent telco operator. Today, we will be sharing another success story, again in telco industry, but this time for the fixed line. So I again want to thank you for hosting us and letting us share our experiences. Now I will be sharing my screen. Hopefully I can present.
Yes, you're coming through nicely.
Perfect. Okay, so we will start with a brief company introduction for the ones who doesn't know about our company, DefineX. I will briefly mention around our CRM capabilities, especially around Siebel. We will spend some time on actually the main topic, running Siebel on OpenShift. And I will also mention about our experiences on Siebel Cloud Manager for deploying Siebel on OpenShift, and we will wrap it with key messages. We can also address some questions if there are any. DefineX is actually a consulting company specialized in finance and telecommunications industries. We are originated from Turkey, and currently we are operating in 4 countries, including United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and United States. We have more than 450 professionals, and we are working in these 2 industries for more than 19 years now. DefineX is concentrating its efforts on 2 verticals, as I mentioned, on financial services and telecom. Mainly, we can mention 3 pillars. On the consulting side, we're doing strategy, digital consulting, product design, service design, UI, UX, and digital product go-to-market. And we have an intensive amount of experience around technology, providing technology strategy and next generation architectures for large banks and telecom operators. We are doing a technology-led transformation and application and integration services. On the lab side, we are doing R&D, and you can consider us as a venture builder. So we are integrating consulting, technology, and innovation from strategy to design, design to launch, and launch to scale. DefineX has Siebel capabilities, of course, for more than 17 years on these 2 industries. We're specialized in call center, Salesforce, marketing. In terms of modules, we have a lot of experience around OpenUI enablement and modernization for Siebel. So far, we completed more than 300 projects with different methodologies. I mean, roughly, we have more than 30 resources, architects, developers, and consultants with a high client satisfaction score, and we are tracing that very closely, which is essential for long-running relationships with the clients. So 3 years back, actually, we went live on an incumbent telco operator, and we ran Siebel on OpenShift. And 1.5 years back, we shared this as a success story in Siebel Friday, thanks to Alex. And today, we are glad to let you know that we did it again on another domain and on a large enterprise. These are like gigantic Siebel install bases. So the experience here is enterprise grade and production grade. So I know that there are companies doing R&Ds and POCs on non-production environments. And I also know that some customers are using Kubernetes native installations for Siebel on Oracle Cloud or Oracle Kubernetes Engine. Of course, together with version 24.6 on Siebel Cloud Manager, Oracle embraced a more open strategy, which made us very glad because this was something that we are also defending for our clients and customers who already has extensive amount of investments on the infrastructure side and private cloud technologies. Maybe you already know Turkey is one of the countries where you have tight regulations and data residency requirements. Usage of public clouds is prohibited in specific industries, which is why our clients leverage on private cloud technologies, and running it on private cloud is crucial. So the challenge for our customer, which is the incumbent telco operator and fixed domain, fixed line, the client was locked on a historical version of the product, which might be something very common because I also encountered this in some of other clients in the Middle East. They are not able to move or upgrade, even if the modern versions of the product makes this experience easier. For our client, the case was they were locked with version 8.1.1.17, and we were planning to upgrade to a modern version of the product. The use cases and the install base was like mission critical, more than 75,000 users using CTI and IVR integrations. So the downtime tolerance was very low. In the historical version of the product, as you can imagine, there were screen freezes and performance issues, and the infrastructure was also risky since end of support for operating systems and disaster recovery requirements were not met. Since the market is regulated, private cloud is a necessity. And since the client was willing to modernize the product and benefit from also cloud native capabilities and other CNCF compliant components like Prometheus, Grafana, or other cross-cutting technologies coming with Kubernetes, we considered moving it to the private cloud since we already had an experience from the mobile domain. I'm referring to the one that we shared 1.5 years back. So what we did actually was architecting Siebel on OpenShift, and we planned a single step upgrade from 8.1 to 25.1 to minimize also long-term legacy risk. We did a lot of custom refactoring, resolving all the conflicts as you can imagine. And there was also BI Publisher and CTI, which required re-engineering for OpenShift and streamlining for CTI integrations. I mean, most of you already know how conventional topology for Siebel looks like, either on VMs or physical machines. This is a typical install base that you can encounter around the globe. And this is something that I always observe in Turkey and also in our clients in the Middle East. The issue is, of course, you can modernize the version, but it wouldn't be possible to benefit from TNCF compliant components. And I mean, if you don't run Siebel on private cloud or public cloud, or Kubernetes, I will say, it would be like a siloed application compared to most of the applications that you have in a modern technology stack, right? Because we see a lot of modernization on core banking, also on the digital core, even on the system of record side, on telco operators, on the channels. Most of the workload is running on Kubernetes native environments, but Siebel was doomed to run on VM or physical machines. Then Oracle made a significant strategic move, even if the product itself was not cloud native. The Dockerized version of the software was provided so that the product could run on a Docker container. At that point, this actually triggered the motivation to run it on Kubernetes native environments as well. So in the beginning, of course, Oracle was promoting, let's say, OCI, OT, which is natural in the end. It's running in the Oracle ecosystem, and you do not have like unlimited resources. It's good to focus on one thing and then spread it horizontally depending on the requirements of the customers. So in our case, the client heavily invested on OpenShift for container orchestration requirements, and they were not willing to further invest on another platform, either like Cloud as customer or OCI or Oracle Kubernetes Engine, because they were happy with their OpenShift and most of their cost-cutting concerns were already addressed, like monitoring, observability, distributed tracing, logging, etc. So it would create a redundancy or inefficiency. And also from TCO perspective, it wouldn't justify. So what we did is actually we architected this topology together with the client, and we modernized Siebel and the chip to run it on OpenShift, also on the fixed line in addition to the mobile side. You might or might not be familiar with this. I mean, if you are already working with Kubernetes installations of Siebel products, you definitely experience this. If you are already using Oracle Kubernetes Engine, and maybe you did R&D or you tested, or maybe you are already using it for production purposes in some of the clients. I know that we have colleagues or friends from Oracle as well. But this is actually Kubernetes native components running in harmony to run our good old let's say, Siebel, on the storage side, they're leveraging on Ceph. This actually changes from customer to customer because every one of them are using different technologies for persistent volumes. And also on the reverse proxy side, you might notice HA proxy, which is not something usual for typical Kubernetes native installations of Oracle because it's usually coming with Nginx on OCI or Oracle Kubernetes Engine if you are using Siebel Cloud Manager. Of course, in the near future, it will also be addressed because now there is another discussion around Nginx. Our customers are also looking for a solution there, but for this client, they were already using HA proxy together with OpenShift, and we decided to leverage on its existing capabilities instead of adding another layer with Nginx, which turned out to be a good decision because now Oracle is also planning to address in the upcoming releases of Siebel Cloud Manager. Together with this upgrade, there was a performance boost on screen transitions. Of course, this is not only related with the infrastructure or the Kubernetes installation or the miracles of OpenShift. There was a technical debt, and the installation was historical also. So we also resolved all those technical restrictions or limitations, and we achieved 35 to 40% in terms of screen transitions and 30-second time saving for call handling, which creates an incredible business outcome for the client. On the deployment side of things, it was reduced from 2 hours to under 10 minutes, and the package preparation time was reduced from 2 hours to 15 minutes, actually. So it's almost zero downtime for deployments, and the developer efficiency increased almost around 20%. So if you try to deploy Siebel on Kubernetes by yourself, you might already face some of these challenges, most of which are already addressed by Siebel Cloud Manager that I will briefly talk about. But if you are working on Kubernetes installations, you might also face some of the challenges because Siebel was not intended to run on cloud-native platforms or cloud-based platforms, but Oracle engineering team, they are doing great on modernizing the software, and together with the introduction of Siebel Cloud Manager and embracing a more open approach, I'm very glad that some of other clients are also considering deploying Siebel on private cloud technologies. First of all, I mean, since these are like containers in the end of pods, the host names changes, and you might need stateful sets. You might also hit to the limitations of PIDs on pods. So you need to modify some of the parameters in order to prevent the resource errors. You might also encounter permission issues, and you need to adjust the security context for correct permissions. If you try this, you might also encounter I/O issues on performance side for read-write many file systems. We optimized this part and we resolved it with RBD in our case, but you might be leveraging on different file services as well. This is not something mandated for Oracle Cloud. You might be using Oracle's own file servers or file systems. You might have different preferences, but for us, persistent volume was addressed to Ceph. So we leveraged on Ceph RBD. On memory consumption, you might also hit to pod crashes because the footprint is not that low. Of course, the refactoring is in progress, and together with the more recent version of the products, we will see more lighter footprints in terms of resource consumption. This is normal. This is totally normal because the alternative would be refactoring the product and then replatforming it, which might also be an alternative. But for our case, the client was willing to operate it private cloud and integrate with all the CNCF compliant products coming with Kubernetes or OpenShift. We also addressed TLS setup, applied re-encrypt termination for security. Of course, you need to consider security as a crucial concern for private cloud, and we also encountered slow network issues on the SCS servers to the database. We upgraded the hardware to elevate the network bottlenecks. I also would like to reiterate that most of these issues are being addressed with Siebel Cloud Manager, but for our project, we didn't go live with the SCM installed version of the software since the project timeline did not let us to also collaborate with Oracle and to test everything for production readiness. Because even if Oracle announced an adoption for a more open approach together with 24.6 and beyond, there's still some work to address, and we are in touch with Oracle. And I'm glad to see that Oracle is very willing to support the partners and also the clients to leverage on SCM capabilities that is already coming as GA, and that's already used for OCI and Oracle Kubernetes Engine. So at this point, I also would like to mention about Siebel Cloud Manager. I know that most of you already know what SCM is, but I also would like to share our experience with it and the changes that we encountered when we started 3 years back on the first project and what we experienced recently with this new project. Siebel Cloud Manager is actually a great software to support deploying Siebel on Kubernetes native environments, such as OKE or OpenShift or any private cloud that you are using, as long as it's CNCF compliant. As I mentioned, first, it started with Oracle only, and then strategically, Oracle embraced a more open approach, and together with version 24.6, if I'm not mistaken, Oracle announced the open approach. At that point, we interacted with Oracle to, of course, do POCs and installations for OpenShift. On our POC process, we also raised the issues that we encountered, and Oracle worked on them to resolve. So it was very collaborative, I can say. Still, as I mentioned, there is some work to do to address the encryption on route for OpenShift, the enablement for optional parameters such as usage of HA proxy or on persistent volume. Maybe you would like to use a different persistent volume. So these are all enhancement requests that we also raised to Oracle, and they're also working on improving SCM. And I'm very glad to see that Oracle is investing further to make SCM even stronger. I mean, why would you deploy Siebel on OpenShift? This might be a question or concern that you might be considering together with your clients. Actually, this was one of our concerns 3 years back. But as I mentioned, in such cases, we just check the references and the strategy and direction coming from the vendor, which is Oracle in this case. We noticed a strong investment both on Siebel itself and SCM. We checked the roadmap and we ensured that Oracle will embrace a more open approach in the near future. So, on the other hand, the client was reluctant to further invest on another container orchestration technology or a cloud platform. So in this case, of course, you have different options. You can either decide to proceed with VM or physical machines as it was on the legacy versions, or you might also decide to try it on OpenShift, which was what we did, and we already deployed them 3 years back for the mobile domain of this operator. This time, we were determined also to do the POCs, to test SCM capabilities, because in the end, an alignment with Oracle software itself prevents technical debt and maintenance efforts with the upcoming releases. Plus, we are serving to different clients in different regions on telecommunications and also finance industries. And different clients are using different container orchestration platforms. Some are leveraging on Oracle, some others are using OpenShift, some of them are using AWS, and some of them are leveraging on Microsoft. And in the end, you might have different CNCF compliant Kubernetes technologies. And if you can use SCF to deploy it on your own Kubernetes, which is the case actually, bring your own Kubernetes or bring your own platform, then you can also support other clients using different technologies. Together with Siebel Cloud Manager, you also have the possibility of doing a lift and shift or a greenfield deployment, depending on the context. You can address observability requirements with Prometheus compatible metrics, DB monitoring, log analytics, telemetry, GitOps, CI/CD, and you can ease the upgrade process for the clients. That's why actually we heavily invested on exploring SCM capabilities, tested, collaborated with Oracle, provided our feedbacks. We learned a lot, and hopefully we contributed to the software itself by our feedback. Even if we didn't complete the testing for production readiness together with the client, we went live with our previous approach, which is actually custom Helm charts that we created as DefineX for our client. But for Q2 2026, together with an alignment with Oracle, we are also planning to align the install base to SCM compliant installation. We believe this is crucial because in the end, we are not doing it like one-off. We will be maintaining it. We will be supporting our client. And we do not want to create technical debt. We do not want to create additional complexity. We do not want to create any lock-in for our customer. That's why we are discussing to align it with SCM installment directly on OpenShift, which requires some modifications. As I told you, it's coming with Nginx, and it should be addressed. Plus, the customers might be using different persistent volumes or reverse proxy. So we can call them like enhancement requests rather than defects, of course. Oracle is also investing on scalability up and down. For the time being, we address this in a custom manner, even if it's not like a cloud native workload. It can still do a lot in terms of scalability of the software compared to the legacy version, which is running on virtual machines or physical machines. So at this point, I would like to summarize our findings and some key messages for this session. As DefineX, as I mentioned, we have a deep CRM expertise for more than 17 years. We are working on the software. We adore this, even if some argue that it's like historical. It's still very critical in most of our clients, and we are further investing on it for system implementation, and we are aligned also with Oracle. I also would like to reiterate that Siebel runs on any CNCF compliant Kubernetes. You might already know this, but maybe you are hesitant about deploying it on other Kubernetes technologies other than Oracle Kubernetes Engine. We can assure that it's running. It's running on production grade, not only for POC purposes or non-production environments. I also would like to emphasize that Oracle is heavily investing on Siebel Cloud Manager, and I'm very glad to see that in addition to Siebel itself, SCM is also evolving with new features, and together with also our feedbacks, Oracle is further investing on the software. And I can, of course, mention that if you are having any issues about deploying it on nano key, or maybe you would like to discuss about this experience, or maybe if you are interested in this journey, you can reach out to us. We would be very glad to discuss around it, have a conversation, share, exchange our experiences. Of course, I'm on the field, experiencing this on different clients, monitoring it also in addition to Turkey in new geographies like Middle East, UAE, KSA. But I would like to know, of course, other experiences. I know that there are senior people here from different companies, system implementers, Oracle itself, Siebel Hub. And I would like to finish it with a thank you to Alex for again hosting us, providing this medium for us, and congratulations on the 5th anniversary of Siebel Friday. I would like to stop sharing right now, and if you have like any questions, or maybe if you would like to add something, I'm glad to address them. Thank you, everyone. It was actually a proud moment for us to go live, because I know that even if it's like, it might be easier for R&D purposes, for huge enterprises like banks or telecom operators, since the regulations are changed and the non-functional requirements are tight, it's much difficult. And I can say that I'm proud of my team working on Siebel CRM together with me for this project. Thank you all. And if you have any questions or comments, please share.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much, Serkan. Please give it up for Serkan in the reaction. You know, you have these clappy hands and everything.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you. Yes, it's so great to see that both on the Oracle side and on the customer side and partner side, like you, that Siebel is still thriving, still growing. And being deployed on, well, modern infrastructure like OpenShift. That's super exciting to see. Just one question that I have, maybe just clarification. I know you mentioned it, but you did, this was a basically self-built deployment, right? You did not use Siebel Cloud Manager per se.
Correct. Because before 24.6, I mean, we had already initiated a project for deploying it on mobile side. That's where we developed our Helm charts. But together with 24.6, SCM is announced to embrace a more open approach to deploy it on other CNCF compliant Kubernetes technologies. So what we are planning for Q2 to 2026 is aligning it with SCM. Of course, we have some pending enhancement requests that we are discussing together with Oracle, and hopefully we can align it before like half of 2026.
Okay, so yeah, so you're basically still waiting until the so-called standalone cloud Siebel Cloud Manager is improved, so you can start to use it for that deployment.
Yeah, but I can of course mention that you can use SCM to deploy Siebel on OpenShift, but still depending on the client context, you might need some parameter changes or maybe modifications or customizations. You do not need to start from scratch like we did 3 years back. You have a great software, SCM, you can leverage on its existing capabilities, and it will definitely accelerate you. But as I mentioned, depending on the customer preferences or the client context, you might need to customize it a bit so that you can deploy it for production purposes for your specific customer.
Oh, okay. Thanks very much for clarifying that. Yes. So Siebel Cloud Manager 26.2, for example, you can download the standalone Cloud Manager from Oracle support and get started with, well, sandboxing or evaluating.
Definitely. It would boost the experience, plus you would definitely accelerate. For us, this was a painful experience that we shared 1.5 years back on the previous Siebel Friday that we attended. This time it was much easier since we already had the experience. But I also personally experienced this together with the team on our POC. If you use SCM, if you start with SCM, definitely it would be a great accelerator for you. You do not need to reinvent everything by yourself.
Yeah. Okay. So thanks again, Serkan. And if you guys have any questions related to Siebel Cloud Manager, to direct it to Serkan, the chat is still open. I'm looking at the chat right now. There's no questions.
Yeah.
So I would say this was another great Siebel Friday. Thanks to Serkan and DefineX and all of you who frequently come. It's just one thing I would like to mention, because we switched to the Zoom scheduler for Siebel Fridays, and you were all very patient in making the switch, because we now have to register every time for Siebel Friday. I will, of course, if you send me your email, I will put you on the email list, like it was 1997. I will send you an email with the link, or you can register. You can register with Zoom scheduler for the next Siebel Friday already. And I will just put out the link in the chat so you can register for the next session, or drop me your email so you get a description. And there is this old Google Calendar thing that we have. Brian noted that to me. Google Calendar is still sending out notifications and invites. I will delete that Google Calendar item, and it will practically all of you who are on that Google Calendar item will get a message that this has been canceled. Of course, that is only the old version of the scheduling has been canceled. Siebel Friday will still happen in 1 month from now. Okay. So yeah, Aziz, Serkan, you have put your contact details
yeah,
in
definitely.
the chat.
If there are any questions, please reach out, and I will be very glad to be in touch with you guys. I know a lot of you guys have a lot of experiences on different areas. We would be glad to exchange this. If you would like to discuss further, please reach out. If you have any questions, you can send an email. Once again, Alex, thanks a lot for hosting us.
Okay. So yeah, thanks everybody, and have a great month. Hope to see you in the next Siebel Friday.